So this is our sample plan, and we are showing you different websites and different manipulatives that we want to add on our software. So this is the basic layout, like how we want instructions to be in our website. So it should be with audio and visual, not like any description where students would have to read. So this could be one of the example. So you can see the link over here. This is school yourself. This is free resource. So let me play this video so that you can easily identify what I want.
Area is a word you hear a lot in geometry, and it's a measure of how much space is inside a shape. For example, take a look at these two shapes. This one has a smaller area because there's not too much space inside it, while this one has a bigger area because there's much more space inside. Next, take a look at these four shapes. Which of them has the largest area? Which one has the most space inside?
So the beauty of this is that it also stops after the video of 25 to 30 seconds, and it prompts a question. Like you can see, it automatically stops, and then it asks a student to answer this question, and after getting that answer it proceeds the same way. So it is more interactive, and this is like visual, like video is playing, but it is not just playing, but it is keep on asking different questions from the students. Like for example, as it has asked which of these shapes have the largest area, so student can answer any of it. So you can see it will not accept the wrong answers, it will color them red, and if the student gives right answer, so it is fine.
Exactly. This shape has the largest area. Now, a more precise definition of area is that it's the number of unit squares that fit inside a shape. What's a unit square? Well, it's a square whose sides all have a length of 1. So, for example, let's say we want to find the area of this shape here. Let's draw in a few light grid lines to help us out. This shape contains 6 of these unit squares, so it has an area of 6. So next, try finding the areas of these three shapes.
You can see it has again stopped, and now a student will have to answer. Student would have to write something, or they have to do one more thing. You can see here we have, if you stuck, there is a hint that you can play, and it will give you the fast step that you can use, or maybe solve the one of the problem, so that you can save the remaining problem by yourself. You can also open the captions of the videos. So this is basically what we want. It should be the basic background should be like this, and but it will be more interactive, like it is giving them different questions and student would have to answer with pictures, but we want student to actually draw those pictures using squares like this. So I will discuss that later, but how instructions will be given, so how questions will be coming, so this is what we want. And another thing is here you can see that for when they were discussing unit squares, so if there is any student who forgets about squares, so they can review this, so they can click and it will revert the student to that concept of squares, and they can revisit the concept. So this is the basic thing that we want instructions to be like these. Fine. Okay. So okay, now I'm showing you the plan. I have showed you how it could be presented on our website. So now it is a plan, so that you can see this is a launch, and these sort of questions will be given as the similar question was asked in the website I showed to you, like which of these shape has the larger area. But what interaction we could add here is that student can move one of the figure, and they can put them on each other to compare which has the larger area. Basically this is from grade 3, and they are just making sense what area is and how we can find area of anything. So this is for example the first question that they can verify. The next we are giving them the some pair of shapes, and this question is just the same: which shape is larger? Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So for here we are also asking for reasons, so we can add here like they can put this figure on this figure, and they can say like it has a larger area. So we can add some prompts here, or we can just ask them to prove why you are saying that this is larger than the other. So for example, they are comparing these two rectangles, so they can put this rectangle and put it here, then they can cut, and then they can place the remaining piece with next to the first piece, and then they can compare that this rectangle has a larger area. So they can make any such figures to prove their answer. So we want to add these interactions. The next, which shape did you change your mind about the discussion? Oh, this is about the discussion that we do in classroom. So I think we have to add some sample responses that the student can tick from, like which shape changes their mind, like they were confused like initially what they were thinking, and when they put them together, even they placed one figure on the other, then their mind was changed. Okay. So okay, now we have this. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Which shape covers more area? For doing this, like for example, we can provide them some pattern blocks here that they can use to fill these shapes, and they are filling these shapes and using their knowledge and intuition to prove that which has the larger area, right? So it could be not like this when we do it in classroom. So we provide them with pattern blocks that they can fill in them, and they can then compare based on those blocks. They make any rational argument that which of these figure have the larger area. When we are talking about doing it virtually, so we have to provide them some manipulative base 10 blocks. Here, let me show you what base 10 blocks are. Here you can see these are the pair of group of base 10 blocks. So they may use these any of these figure multiple times, and they are filling that figures, and then they would be saying that which of the figure has the larger area. So it is like it will be so it is not like this it is not a question. It would be more interactive because they were using those blocks to fill these figure, and to prove their answer it will be their proof that they can write like it could take in a total three triangles. So the area of this shape is of three triangles, but if we put the same triangles here, we can see that there is an additional space, or it is some squares are going some triangles are going out, so it is has large smaller area. So they can do it something like that here. Okay, we have got an example here also. So there is instruction, use pattern blocks to decide which shape covers the most area. Be ready to explain your reasoning. So this is very important part that would be in our website because it is missing virtually. Like we don't ask student to prove their answers. So they can have blocks like these here. They can put them and they can fill it inside, and they can compare these figures. So this could be the next. And then which shape we decide, when we decide which shape covers the most area, we are talking about the area of the shape. So now we are introducing what area is. So after doing like they were using the word of space, so now we are relating what space and area have common, like we are finding the area of something. We can think about the area as the amount of space covered by a shape, right? So we are not introducing any concept of using squares inside it. We will introduce this later, but we are making sense what basically area is now. Okay, which of these shapes have the greatest area? Now they have already measured which of the previously given shapes had the larger space. Now they are asking for greater area, so they can easily answer. We will show them their own, like for when we ask this question, so we will show them the same their work that they have done in the previous three figures. Let me show you again like this. So they must have filled them to prove their answer. So we will show their filled shapes here and ask this question, which of these shapes has the greatest area, so they can easily answer it. Okay, so this was the first lesson, and that will not end here. If you want to add summary, so we can also do that, but it's not our big deal. Okay, this is a cool down activity, and this is a sort of assessment, like the which rectangle has the greater area, how do you know? So along we can provide some base 10 blocks here so that they can put them, and they can prove how they know which of these figure have the greater area. So this is the very basic of areas, so we are discussing it like this. Okay, in the next lesson you will see how we want to make it more interactive for students. So I would share it here. I have one more thing to add here. Instead of giving them these abstract figures like rectangles, it will be better if we provide them a piece of land or piece of garden, or a pool, swimming pool of different sizes, and we can compare which of the pool has the larger area. In the later lesson I'll show that again. Okay, let's move.